Guys, TinaGale here, and today I am working with My Creative Scrapbooks July main kit. I am their guest designer this month and so excited to work with this. It's a beautiful summer kit with some bright colors, but if you use some of the B-sides and mix those, you get softer colors. So I hope when you see all of the layouts that I've created in the kit, how many different kind of styles and looks that you can get from the same collection. So today I added a piece of blue cardstock to my kit, and I'm using that for the background, and I have some photos here. They are from way back in the past. If you've been following me, I've been scrapbooking in the late 90s and the year 2000. So what I've done to begin with is I've cut two pieces of the paper. I wanted to use this blue kind of plaid pattern on the diagonal, and then this star pattern over here that looks like a quilt. These are photos of my son when he was at summer camp, and we had taken my daughter out to visit him. They are very close still to this day, and it was kind of hard on her to be gone or be away from him for a week and stuff. And thankfully we have a good relationship with the camp, so we would just go out and let her hang out with him. So I have a couple of photos of him playing on the kind of obstacle course that they had there, and then her on the swing, which is just, I'm standing in the same spot to take those two smaller photos. And then I have one of them sitting on the hill, and he's with all of his other bunk mates, but they're sitting off on a towel by themselves eating their afternoon snack. So I want to show some of the stuff that I did to bring this story in and to remind me, and I think it will remind my son. I think he has a pretty good memory of this. But this blue gingham pattern on the back, plaid pattern, and the quilt design on the side. I have a quilt that's a blue flowered quilt that I had as a child. And he has fallen in love with it, and he insisted on taking it to summer camp. And I kept telling him, you know, you might get made fun of or whatever, and, you know, let's pick a different one. And he insisted. He did not care what anybody thought. He wanted his quilt. And so these pattern papers remind me so much of that quilt and that story of him growing up. And he still has that quilt to this day. And it's pretty raggy, but he will not get rid of it. It just holds sentimental value to him because it was mine and then it was his. And so this pattern paper really, really reminded me of that and him insisting on taking it to camp. The other thing is, there was this border strip that says, "We didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun." And I think that is so appropriate for these photos of my two kids sitting on the hillside there and just catching up and just enjoying each other's company. And, you know, they don't even realize how special that is, I don't think. And, you know, they weren't thinking about, you know, they're making memories of that time. They were just having fun. And so I really wanted to get that in. I move it around and play a lot with the embellishments on this layout because I had to cut it in half, and you can tell it's not exactly in half, to kind of make it fit, but then I had to fill that gap where it didn't fit in. And there are these little teepees in this collection, and when I saw those, they're adorable, but I thought, I have no idea how I'm going to use those teepees on any of my layouts. Well, this was perfect because it's summer camp. You kind of think of teepees, and this camp is called Dry Gulch, so it's a very Western theme. So I thought it was kind of appropriate. So I'm going to use that to fill in that hole there, but you're going to watch me move it around several different places before I decide on the end design. And I wanted a little bit more on this background, so I did take it to my sewing machine and I did a zigzag stitch between the two pieces of pattern paper. Again, it was just bringing in that quilt design and just reminding me of the story of the quilt, because I'm not going to write about the quilt on my journaling. I'm going to write about them and their relationship and summer camp and all of that. So this is just my way of getting that quilt into the story a little bit. And I will probably do another layout sometime maybe about the quilt. I don't know. This blue floral pattern paper reminds me of the quilt. The quilt looks like that. It's blue and it has florals, all this little blue flowers all over it like that. So I thought I really wanted to get that onto the layout. And I felt like I needed a little border around those large patterned papers. And so I just took my small scallop punch, punched that, and put it along the bottom, and felt like that was a perfect finishing touch. I'm also going to take the little scrap that's off to the right, and I'm going to put it up underneath those little strips of writing as well to kind of border that and keep all of the design elements of the photos up to the top and kind of box them in, and then my journaling and stuff at the bottom. So when I was putting this teepee on, for whatever reason, it just kept looking like it was crooked, and I didn't want, you know, later to feel like it was going down the hillside. And so I got my T-square there to just kind of line it up and make sure everything was square. Now you'll see down here at the bottom, I have another one of those teepees, and it's the chipboard piece. And I move it around quite a bit too, because I'm like, I'd like to have something down there. I need to use up these teepees, but it's not going to make it onto the layout. I end up putting the year down there. I also had this little chipboard piece that says, because a little bit of summer is what the whole year is about, and my kids so look forward to a week of summer camp when they were small, so I really wanted to get that on there. And it had that wood frame, so I felt like it kind of brought in the memories of what Dry Gulch is all about, and just the outdoors and things. And then I had the sun that said shine bright, so I just made a little cluster up there and decided I was going to put my title up into that clustering and just finish it out. When I did the title and I had these wood grain letters that spelled out summer, I decided I wanted a little bit of wood at the bottom, so I decided to do the year and bring it down to that very bottom cluster. And so you can see I still have that TP down there. I'm still kind of living with it, trying to see if I want to put that much down there. But in the end, I just felt like it was too overpowering. You can see me, I'm putting it up there, I'm taking it down, going, you know, it's competing with the photos because there's so much going on up there, because I do have 3 photos. They're darker and they're busy, so you're really having to look at them and study them to see what they are and what they're about. And then, of course, all my clusters had quite a few things going on. So I thought about moving the year up closer to the photos and keeping everything in and just having a place at the bottom for your eye to rest. But I knew I wanted my journaling to go down there, and I felt like my journaling could get fairly long. I hadn't written it out yet, but I felt like I had quite a bit to say. So that's why I went ahead and put the year at the bottom on top of that scalloped, so that it would just kind of finish off my journaling and box it all in. It brought that wood grain to the bottom. So now I have my brads, and I'm just trying to figure out, I wanted to use as many as I could on this layout. It seems like here lately I've been really putting on a lot of product, but I have a lot of product, so I want to get it used, and as long as it doesn't take away from the story and the photos, I'm good with piling it on. So I do get, I think, 4 of the brads on there. Well, no, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the brads, several of the chipboard pieces. And in the end, I just love how this turned out. I think it is so pretty. And I'm at the end here, I'm going to kind of hold it up and show you some different angles, because it's really hard to get a photo of a dark layout for me anyways. I don't know if anybody else struggles with that, but I have a hard time getting the colors to be really bright and show the full design. And since my photos are darker as well, it was kind of hard. But I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to come back to see all the other layouts that I create with this kit and the different ways that I take it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the My Creative Scrapbook Kit Club. I'll have a link down below. And I will see you really soon with another layout. Have a great day.